starting out as an artist, I have not always been an artist from childhood. I think most of my childhood has been spent on, being annoyed, being happy. It was more mental. So I wasn't really actively drawing or painting. Not until 2020 when I got into a depressive state and started creating. Why I started creating was because of that stress and trying to find myself. I think I had been blocked for so many years, and mostly in my mind that I can't create. There is nothing in art. So the depressive state literally forced me to create. It wasn't intentional that I wanted to be an artist. Yes, so I found myself drawing so much. Also coming from a family that is, Christian, the people have their own views. So I was always told there is, nothing in art, that's being compressed for so many years, where they tell you there's really nothing, in art. There is nothing you can do. But for me, I didn't do it because of those voices. I did it because I was depressed. And when I was depressed, it's when I found myself, I found like I was releasing myself more, releasing the thoughts, releasing what I wanted to write. So that's how, and most importantly, getting into the residency gave me the space, the residency in 2021 at Silhouette. So that gave me the space to be myself, to concentrate rather than just listening to what people, might say. And I had the chance to create my thoughts, not what people are saying about me or about what I do. The artworks in this exhibition are not something I prepared for. I didn't deliberately do the works for the exhibition, but I chose them because of the times they were created in. I created them in a time where I was trying to find myself. I was at the residency, which was at like a learning institution. So the time where I started, being more deliberate about giving my thoughts to the work, about being wild, I would say, That's why I chose it from that specific period. So I chose it because of the period it was created in, not because of the exhibition. Yeah, at the time I was starting out. Yeah. I create because things just hurt me, because things make me happy, because things annoy me, because sometimes I'm too busy, sometimes I'm too lazy. That's literally why I create. I create because it's it gets into my mind and into my heart. That's why I create. I am not inspired by anything, but I am someone who creates because something touches me, because it fascinates me. I create because my thoughts are just thoughts, They are unapologetic. My thoughts are not polite. That's why I create, not because of inspiration. I create because my life as an individual is not in anyone else's life. I am a different individual. I think differently. I like things other people won't like. I would consider myself being normal or not normal. And it is writing a personal diary, literally. When I have a good time at the beach, it's what I represent. It's what I portray. I portray honesty in my life. I don't portray role models. I portray who I am as a person. Every part of creation is frustrating from the start to the end for me. And why it's frustrating? Because they're all possibilities. You would literally want to pick up pastels or charcoal, but you don't know whether it's the one you really want to use. It's literally creating possibilities. What is constant is the thing that is in your mind, in your heart. You have the idea, but you're not clear about how it will end up. So it is frustrating from the start, to the end. So I think every level of creating is the same for me, because you succeed and you fail. So it's basically possibilities. There is nothing that is easy. It's basically like writing, where you have an opening paragraph, you have the body of the writing, then you have the conclusion. It is all very frustrating, I would say. And again, the most interesting thing about the frustration is that you don't feel it. And you don't feel it because you are so much absorbed by thoughts while creating. So you don't feel the frustration because of that freedom of thinking about what you want. And while you're done, you are experiencing the work as something new as well. You don't remember the thoughts that led you to creating it. But what you have is this one solid, piece that you've created. My ideal working condition is more like an attack. It is not specific. I don't decide to work. I always feel attacked. I always feel unsettled. And regardless of what time it is, even if it's midnight, and I also like things done. So when things attack me, I think I'm always attacked a lot. So because I feel I'm always attacked a lot by thoughts, by people in my surrounding, I always want to release it fast, and in that, and that's where the creation starts, really. So there is nothing really ideal, but maybe whether it's day or night, it's literally the same thing. I don't have a specific time that I work. I just work because it's basically like depression. When you're depressed, it doesn't really matter whether people are giving you fancy things, or it doesn't really matter. What you want is to be understood in that specific area, and that is how the condition of creating is. It's like depression, where you just want that specific duty or task executed, that if it's not executed, you wouldn't feel safe or free. You want to release it. So that is the condition, to release, not to schedule, to release what it is. I really don't have any creative blocks. One thing I know about the way I create is it's very exciting to see a plain paper. I always want to scribble, even if it's a nice wall or just something plain. And even while I was at school, I would just keep plain papers, a lot of it. There are some that I kept from, day one and never used it. Why? Because it was just exciting to see them clean. I would collect and just keep. I keep with the idea that, no, I'll use it at some point. It is just exciting, seeing something plain. And why it's exciting, it's because you are putting your ideas into it even before you start executing. You're thinking about how the lines of charcoal would move into it, how dark it would look, how colorful it would look. So every material is a free space for me. And I don't think that should be a creative block, because you should be free to see paper and free to use it, free to use canvas. If the creative block is emotional, I think that is hard. If it doesn't touch your heart, then that is very hard, which I also understand. It happens because sometimes you feel you don't have anything to create. But then the one thing you always have to reserve is the space for creation, which is the paper I'm talking about, the canvas. Because if you reserve the space and those materials, any idea that comes, you have the ability to exhaust it. Imagine not having both. You don't have the paper or the canvas to create. Then when the idea comes, you're still locked out. So for me, I think it is always nice to be interested, maybe in the kind of material you like or use, the kind of pigments, I don't know. But keeping it, or I would say being a collector of materials. I like materials. And because I like that, the only thing I need to make the liking work is just put that thought, which is personal, and be honest with it, into that material. To make that texture and, the canvas be more exciting, you just put what is personal into it to literally work out. Art is a personality, and because it's a personality, you know when you are a viewer. And why I say it's a personality, it's because you can know someone who is happy, someone who is joyous. You can know someone who is programmed. You can know someone who is emotional. And there is no middle ground in art. There is always precision, in art. It's either you like it or not. Because it's a personality. You either like someone who laughs a lot or not. You either like someone who likes things done or not. And when you are a viewer, you are looking at what the person has created in regards to his personality. Because it is who they are, really. People create what they are. I never have a viewer in mind while creating, not even myself in mind. It's because I create with probabilities. I don't create because I know what I'm creating. I just have a feeling about it, or I have a strong mindset about it. I just use that strength that's disturbing me, I would say, to create. But I never have a viewer in mind, not even myself. I'm not thinking about how people will look at it. But one thing I would not want them to take from my work is just pass away, I would want them to do two things, which is love it or hate it. I would not want it to be in the middle, because my goal while creating is to be honest. So when it's lukewarm, then it didn't come out well. But when it's exact, you have the decision as a viewer to either hate it or you love it. For me, I would just want the viewer to take those two things. I want it to confuse you if it is supposed to. I want you to like it. I want you to understand it. Anything in that category. I want it to disturb you. That's my goal, for it to be honest. Started creating in 2020. So I would say I haven't made 2 years yet. I think I really have so many things to create. And why I say that is because I think from childhood I have just been keeping these things. I've not always been an artist child. I have always kept them mentally, emotionally, just like, no, this person stays in my space, this goes. Those things have always taken up my life from childhood. So it was not until that time came where I felt I have to start releasing these things. Unfortunately, it was through art. So I would say I didn't really hold a paintbrush or charcoal, pencil, or pastels, not until I was 20. It's not like I started drawing from 3 years or 2 years, as most people say. They would be lucky, but it's just never been me. My years of childhood was so much mental, so much annoying, irritating, and happy. Literally finding a way to be understood. And that resolution or evolution in my work for the 1 year that I started creating has helped me build so many memories. The body of works that I create is so much based on memories. As I'm working, I'm literally telling stories in my mind. I'm thinking about that day when, someone walked out in that evening. I'm thinking about the day when I ate this or slept here. I'm thinking about those things. It's memory, because the idea of portraying something is based on very mental things. And I think that's why my journey of creating took a very thoughtful way, or very way of success and way of failures, ways of possibilities, I would say. It took that route so much because of these things that accumulated over the past years, in that I couldn't start designing something specific, yet I had all these things in my past chasing me. So I literally took that and put it within the years that I'm going to create. It's literally bringing history, creating it in the present day, I would say. And my concepts and ideas are very unpredictable for myself as well. I don't know where they come from. Sometimes they're present, sometimes they're memory, so many things. Within the coming years, I don't know where life will take me at that point. My intention would be to be more keen, because I have realized that collecting things from childhood and bringing it to the present has helped me create. So as I move forward, it would be to be more keen, maybe grow more or be more decisive. So within, I would say, the coming 5 years, I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised of what I'm creating. I want to be surprised with the studio I'm sitting in, the space. I don't want to enjoy the process. I just want to be surprised. I don't want to realize the process. I want to be surprised that, I'm here, or I'm staying here, I'm working here, because those probabilities and giving space for things to happen is a good thing. And why it's good, it's because surprises create a very big value, I would say. When you're surprised by something, it creates a big value of, when you track the process, you experience pain, you experience happiness, I would say. But when things surprise you, when you don't design it, you enjoy it more. I don't know how I would describe myself as an artist. I really don't have the words for it. I think I'm just free, very free as an artist. And that's what's very exciting about my creation, that freedom of mind, that liberty that I have while creating is what I would describe myself as. It's not a task to create. It's not a job to create. It is just freedom to create. It's just like someone who likes swimming. It's just nice maybe for them to swim.